This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hello, cat lovers. Welcome to Cattitude. I'm your show host, Michelle Fern. You know, I know we don't normally talk about products on Cattitude, but this product is so unique and so different. I want all of you to know about it because it deals with one of the things we don't like about our cats, the litter box. So I can't wait to have the founder and CEO of this company on the show and tell you all about it. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Take a bite out of your competition. Advertise your business with an ad in Pet Life Radio podcasts and radio shows. There is no other pet-related media that is as large and reaches more pet parents and pet lovers than Pet Life Radio. With over 7 million monthly listeners, Pet Life Radio podcasts are available on all major podcast platforms. And our live radio stream goes out to over 250 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, Odyssey, TuneIn, and other streaming apps. For more information on how you can advertise on the #1 pet podcast and radio network, visit PetLifeRadio.com/advertise today.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm happy to welcome Chris Madeiras. He is the CEO and founder of Smarty Pear, which is a California-based pet technology company and the inventor of Leo's Loo 2. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks. It's nice to be here with you and really appreciate the opportunity to speak.
I'm so happy to have you. It's been a little while. I met you in person in Global, which was so nice, and 2 people on your team. You guys are wonderful. It was so nice to meet you in person. I don't get a chance to do that a lot, so it was really nice to meet you in person.
Nice to meet you as well. And actually, I think I've been traveling nonstop since I last saw you. So literally almost 37 days straight. So nice to be sitting in a chair in my home and having a nice conversation with you.
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't envy you. I mean, travel is fun, but for me, in my experience, it always sounds a lot more fun than it is. Especially, I was last my travel time I traveled, I was stranded because it decided to rain 28 inches in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh yeah, we've been having crazy weather back here, but no doubt travel is fun for a year, and then it's just work. But I still enjoy it. But I definitely like to be home. Thank you, as I'm sure do you.
Yes. Okay, let's tell everyone, what is Smarty Pear?
Oh, so Smarty Pear is the name of our company. My co-founder actually came up with the name. We wanted something that was kind of cute and fun and that we could pull other pet products underneath over time. So that's the history of the brand Smarty Pear.
Okay, the product we're going to talk about today now, and we don't usually talk about products on Cattitude, but, you know, the litter box is one of these things that's just such an issue with cats. Some people will not have cats in their home just because of litter boxes, or they have one and then they have their partners. It's always a challenge because of the litter box. Or, well, I'm lucky. My partner deals with it. I don't, but that's a rare thing. Because the litter box is a challenge. And I know that this is Leo's Loo 2, which is an improvement on Leo's Loo. So first, where did that name come from? Because it's so cute, kind of a play on British terms for bathroom. And then let's tell everybody as best you can, give a good visual of what the Leo's Loo 2 is.
Sure. So you hit the nail on the head. You know, we just got the latest numbers out on cats and pets, and 92% of people are still using litter boxes and 78% are using regular litter boxes, and it is awful. So I was actually born with a cat in my crib. I had cats my whole life. My mother at one point had 12 rescue cats, and I had this cat, Leo, that lived with me in San Francisco. And I had literally tried every product. I said, there's got to be a better way. I was working for a technology company. So I tried all the technology solutions and was equally disappointed every time. Even met the CEO and founder of the leading brand in this space and was given a free one at CES many years ago and sent it back after 3 years, frustrated and disappointed. Again, if you're in a small space, it gets really hard, like a flat in San Francisco or in a major city. If you have a basement, it's a different story. It's still awful. But, in San Francisco, Leo would go to the bathroom in my living room and I would smell it and see it. It would keep me active. And a lot of these automatic devices I would get would still smell. And worst of all, they were loud and they would wake me up. I was a light sleeper. So the things I wanted to solve for were the ugly. I thought all of them were really ugly. And this thing was stuck in my living room and I wanted it to look nice like everything else. They smelled. So we wanted to get rid of the odor, which is why we added UV and made kind of our containment area airtight and make it beautiful. And I think you'll agree, you can put that in a living room and it looks like a nice piece of furniture. So I solved for the 3 things that I really did not like about everything else I had tried.
So to me, it looks like a tiny mini spaceship. If you think about a picture, it's modern looking.
Yes, very clean lines.
It has nice lines. It's oval and it's clean looking. In my living room, and it's already happened, where I've had people think it was a sculpture. I thought they were crazy. I said, that's a litter box. They go, you're crazy. That looks like a sculpture. I said, okay, well, if you want a litter box, you can have one too. So, but it looks like a sculpture almost.
It's a funny topic, right? It's a bathroom, but again, because it was in my living room, I needed something that looked sophisticated and nice. So it's a funny topic, but it does look nice. Today, and where I live now, it sits in my kitchen right next to my dining table. So I eat next to it and there's literally no odor and no sound. It's very quiet. So it can live with you, but more take all that out of the equation. Ultimately, as you said, you just don't have to scoop anymore. And that is a life. That's like going from a washboard washing machine out in your backyard to getting a washing machine in your house. I mean, it literally is a major appliance and a complete change in lifestyle.
Okay, so that's where I was headed with this. How does it work so you don't have to scoop anymore? Because you have to get the stuff out eventually. So how do you get that out? If you can explain it to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically a sifting machine, right? We have sensors that can tell when your cat goes in and out. We have triple safety. So God forbid you would not want this thing going off while your cat was in there. So we're the only company that has radar detection. So if the cat comes anywhere near it, it'll stop. But essentially like a big rotating mechanism that sifts the good from the bad. There's lots of features, but ultimately I say when you get it, you'll forget all the features and it just works. So the cat goes in. Anywhere from 6 seconds to 20 minutes, you can set the device to do its sifting. It basically separates the good from the bad. The bad drops below, seals it, and then it's treated intermittently with UV light. UV light is FDA approved, and UV light kills 99.9% of bacteria. So that's a big part of our odor prevention, because ultimately the biggest challenge of this is, so we've solved for cleaning it, it drops to the bottom, but then you have, waste just sitting in a box over time. So the good news is with ours, on an average per cat, you can go a week without touching it. But the idea is, and that's what I found with other devices, that week of it sitting there would just smell awful. So with the treatment, with the airtight, using the right litter, you really will forget about it. You'll get a notification on your phone that says, oh, it's full. You're like, oh. And then you open it up and you're like, oh, there's a lot of stuff in there. It's a 9.5 liter container, so it's one of the largest in the industry. But some people get up to 2 weeks per cat. Like I have a very small cat, so I can almost go 2 weeks without touching it. But it really is a lifestyle changer. In terms of how it works, it's actually not that complicated. The UV technology is pretty sophisticated, I would say. It requires EPA certification, so requires a bit more work. But I think that is one of the really big benefits of ours in terms of getting rid of that odor and bacteria.
No, definitely, because one of the things, with the litter box, the biggest thing is the smell.
Exactly.
Number 2 would be scooping, but the biggest is the smell. 2
The
is
smell.
scooping, and then probably 3 would be the dealing with the litter. Now, you said you have to use a certain type of litter for the Leo's Loo 2, 100% clay.
Yeah, it's 100% clay, and we're looking at some alternatives. I've tested them all, and clay is the most efficient. So it just clumps really well. And then when you separate the good from the bad, you don't wind up with any bad left. And therefore, it keeps a clean environment for the cat. That's something we didn't talk about as well. That's probably equally as important. So you think your cat, every time they go in now, they're getting clean litter. They're not stepping in waste and tracking it all over your house. So happier cat, happier you, less bacteria. But with a lot of those other products, you don't get that clean separation. And so then you have residue left behind in the clean and it starts to smell and get dirty. So clay is just super efficient. And then what I can tell you is with our product, and by the way, 80% of sales are clay today. It's super efficient. So what you wind up with in the tray is only waste. And you will nearly double your litter usage with this machine because now they're not stomping around and mixing the good with the bad. And so you only wind up with the waste. So you wind up using a significantly less amount of litter over time. It's quite stunning. And I can tell you, we recommend you clean your box once a month, just as a regular routine. But my mom, who's been testing one for years, will go 6 months and I'll go over to the house and visit and it's fine. So the fact that it's always clean, it really is an amazing thing. But yeah, I mean, it all the way around is a whole life-changing event. And it's hard to get excited about cat poop, but this is the reality of what we're talking about. It really cool. Is owning a cat much, much, much better.
Yes. Okay, so let's go from the cat's point of view. So we'll talk about more about cats after a break. But so the cat goes in, does their business, comes out, sifts through, the waste goes down to the bottom. Then when the next cat comes in or your cat comes in later, nice and clean.
Always clean. And, it's funny. They're always fascinated with it. So this is where sometimes you have to play with the delay. Of course, they go in, they come out, then it'll start to clean. Like if you have it on 1 minute, they're still hanging around. They'll immediately go back and it'll stop and you go through this thing. Some of them continue to be fascinated with it, but the reality is, they don't wind up ever going in it and tracking all that dirty stuff around your house, which is, as we know from having litter boxes, that's exactly what happens, right?
Oh, yeah. You step in little all the time.
They're in our beds and our counters and all those wonderful things. But yes, so always clean, and the sensors let it know when it's gone, and Kitty comes and goes and is happy. And there is the curiosity factor. So that's why you can extend the delay, but it's a pretty seamless event. And they take to it just like they would a litter box. I mean, generally, unless you're changing litter, sometimes that can be a little bit of a trick if they're used to a certain type. But I always say like a fish to water, a cat to litter. If there's litter and it's available, they just know to go. That's the beautiful thing about a cat versus a dog, right?
Yep. And I'm going to ask you more questions once we come back from our break. So we'll be right back. Hey, everyone. Michelle Fern here. I'm all about cats. And of course, I'm very concerned about my cat's food. I was not so happy with my cat's old food. It was stinky. I didn't think it was really up to date. It didn't have the nutrition that they needed. And I was so glad I found Smalls. Smalls is protein-rich recipes that are made with preservative-free ingredients that you'd find in your fridge. And it's delivered right to your front door. Smalls was started in 2017 by a couple guys that were home cooking cat food in small batches for their friends. Over time, they built a following, and now Smalls has served millions of meals to cats all over America. I love Smalls because not only does it look healthy and fresh, but I definitely see an improvement in my cats. I mean, Molly, her coat is so shiny and she has more energy. She used to have issues with hairballs all the time. I see a definite improvement in that. And that's a big deal for me. Also, what I love is that the Smalls team is so confident that your cats will love their product. You can try it risk-free. They'll refund you if your cat won't eat their food. Give your cat the gift of great cat food this holiday season. Head to smalls.com/petlife and use the promo code PETLIFE at checkout for 50% off your first order plus free shipping. That's the best offer you'll find, but you have to use my code PETLIFE for 50% off your first order. One last time, that's promo code PETLIFE for 50% off your first order plus free shipping.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone. We're talking to Chris Madeiras, the CEO and founder and creator of Leo's Loo 2. Okay, so Chris, the Leo's Loo 2, it's self-cleaning, quiet, programmable, UV light to take out any stink. It has a smart home app. You can control it with Alexa and Google, which, that's really cool. And with the UV light, eliminates odor. So we talked a little bit before the break about this. How would you go about introducing your cat to it? Even though you said, cats are pretty curious. So I think you're right on that. Because what I did is I set it up, and Molly's the brave one. She's always the one to check out everything first. Then comes Dennis. Charlotte eventually. So that's how it goes in my house. Sometimes Nicky, but he's a dog. So he just likes to see what's happening. Then he's not as smart as a cat. So, then he goes away. But how does it work for most people? Because a lot of people have a concern. They're switching over, their litter box into lots of feline households. The litter box is it. And if you mess with that, then your cat's going to be defiant and start pooping everywhere. Charlotte does do that, but she does it no matter what. She's challenging. That's all I could say. But how would you, introduce it to your cat? So your cat would say, all right, cool. Do you do it gradually with the other litter box?
No, it's a great question. I'll give you one of our early testers. This person had 3 cats. She had 3 different boxes in 3 different areas in the house. I mean, it was really awful. She showed me, she was embarrassed. I'm like, no, I get it. I've had cats. I said, here's what we're going to do. We're getting rid of all of those, and we're going to set this up. And as long as it's the same litter, we're just going to put a little trace of the other litter that was kind of used in there, and they'll use it right away. And she was terrified. Oh, no, Chris, we can't do that. We got to at least, I said, just trust me. So as I was setting it up, 2 of the 3 had already gone in and we're checking it out. And we plugged it in. We turned it on. We got rid of her boxes. Within 15, 20 minutes, all 3 of them had used it. And she never looked back. And that was about 2 years ago, but she was convinced they would never use it. And generally that's how it goes. I mean, it's litter. If they have their other boxes, they tend to do, they're creatures of habit, just like us. They'll continue doing it. But, cats know about litter. I mean, we all know this if we've had a cat. If there's any litter, the great thing about getting a kitten, you put a box down, you put litter in it, and they just know to go in there. It's not like you have to train them to do it. So you get rid of those other alternatives. You can put a little sense there. Now, every once in a while, there is a stubborn cat. And believe me, I've had these cats too. I used to have a cat when I would travel, would never go to the bathroom out of the box and then go to the bathroom right in the middle of the bed if I was gone for a week.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So I know they can be funny. So we do get, I'd say less than 1% where you have old cats and they're just stubborn and they're not having it. But generally 99% of the cases, cats go right in. There's no trouble. There's also a product that we use, Dr. Elsie's. It's a litter attract that if we get those stubborn cats, we recommend that. And then people put a little bit of that in there. That gets most of the stubborn ones over the hump. But yeah, it's really not complicated. The hardest part is getting pet parents and cat mamas and fathers to let go of that other box. Most of them are so afraid for the reasons you just said that there's going to be a massive protest. But I can tell you, having sold thousands of these now and dealt with lots of customer care stuff, generally that's just not the case. They'll adapt very quickly.
That's good to know. And I mean, sometimes I think Charlotte thinks her offerings are gifts to me or something like that, but I could do without, little logs. So you kind of answered my next question, sort of, but multi-cat households. So a lot of people, know the rule of thumb. You have to have 1 more litter box, then you have cats, but this doesn't seem to be the case with Leo's Loo 2.
No, that is the great thing. Because again, it's always clean. So one leaves, it's clean, the other one goes in. You'll of course go through more bags and, content. So where I said on average, if you have 1 cat, it'll last a week before you have to touch it. If you have 3 cats, you might be changing the drawer every 3 days or 4 days. Again, it depends on there's a big difference between a cat waste with 20 pounds versus 7 pounds. So there's a bit of variability to that. But, heck, if you have 3 cats and you have 4 boxes, you're probably scooping, 25, 30 times in 4 days versus just getting a notice on an app saying, hey, change the bag. It's a whole different thing. So, and we say you can go up to about 4 with our product. Literally you could do probably 10 if you wanted. It's a lot of wear and tear. But 4 is our number. We say you can have one device, 4 cats, and it handles it just fine. It's just a matter of you have to fill the litter more. But again, you're going to use a lot less litter because, again, it's always clean. They're not mixing the good with the bad. You're only removing the waste. So you'll see your litter consumption go way, way down.
Now, you can control it with an app, and there's Google and Alexa. So what if you traveled? Again, I know you have to have the rule of thumb of how big your cats are, how much waste. Too bad you can't have a little robot maid come and change the drawer too. You need to invent that. That's the next thing.
Next thing. We'll put it on the list.
Yeah, put it on the list. I was just reading something on Instagram about the Jetson. Do you want the Jetson car or the Jetson maid? And someone said, no, I want the maid.
Yes.
So
yeah.
If you're traveling, how many days can you be away? I guess it's a rule of thumb, but you can travel and not have to worry about any litter box problems.
Exactly. So for mine, my cat's only about 7 pounds. I wouldn't do this, of course, but I could probably be gone 2 weeks without having to worry about anything. So having said that, again, it depends on average. Most cats are around 12, 14 pounds. It's about a week. So for cat people, right? Sometimes you just need to run or go see something in a day or two. That's the beauty. I mean, this was me with Leo. I was traveling all the time. I mean, when I say all the time, 95% of the time. So poor Leo, towards the end, I had people coming in just to take care of him and housekeepers, and he was geriatric. And I was really looking for a solution to really automate this for me. And this was, again, the passion to really build something that worked. But you definitely can go for a period of time, depending on how many cats, and have worry-free.
So what's coming next? Do you have a device that feeds them too?
Yeah, we're working on a lot of, so this was the thing, I've been in technology for a bit. I've been in pet for a bit. I'm super passionate about this space. There's a lot of products out there in a lot of spaces, and that doesn't mean that they're good. I always like Kong toys. I think they made one of the best toys. It's low technology, and they took something that there was a lot of average stuff and just made a great product. I think that's us. We really are looking at different technology spaces that are in need. So we are definitely in development. You'll see another product come out from us. We have a fun laser toy. We just launched at Global Pet, which was just a side product, but we have a pretty major launch coming in the next couple of weeks. And then we'll have a super major product at CES this year, which I can't really give a lot of details about it, but both of those two that I just told you about are technology based. They're smart products. I mean, one of the things we didn't talk about that I'll just mention about our product, it is the number one way to be able to determine if your cat has an issue. I had a friend that basically called me when they had their device and their first cat, and they said, Chris, I think this thing's broken. It says the cat's been in 40 times today. I said, oh, we'll reset it and do this and do that. And second day, hey, Chris, called and the cat is having issues. It says it's been in 28 times today. I said, you got to get the cat to the vet. I think something's wrong with the cat. Well, of course, UTI, right?
Oh, I thought for a minute how you were describing, I thought the cat was using it as a place to hide out.
Well,
wow.
Early on, that can happen.
Yeah.
But over time, this is the thing. The data, you see their weight over time, you see their frequency. The one thing you'll learn, they're just like us. Their bathroom patterns stay exactly the same. Like my cat goes to bed at a bathroom at about 11 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning. And so there's this rhythm. And then when that rhythm's out, whether you see their weight, because it's measuring their weight every time they're in, fluctuate, go up or down, or you see frequencies go up or down, those are two of the biggest indicators that there's some sort of a health problem. So that is a huge advantage to going to this technology-based product, because cats, unlike dogs, I've had dogs, I'm sure you have too, you have one, they let you know when there's a problem, but cats are stealth. It's really hard to know when something's wrong. And this is the number one way. And of course, we know UTIs are the number one issues they have. And this is, they really go in a lot, and it's a huge way to be able to tell and catch it early. And that was, of course, what exactly the issue was in this case. The cat had a UTI. That's
a great kind of fringe benefit.
It is. It's really, so for the long term, I brought it up because you asked about future products. We're really looking to make products that can give better insights into pets' health. So not only things that we need that are important, but things that can give you insight to understand your pet better and then track these things over time. There's a lot of companies doing it. I think, I worked with Whistle, which was a dog activity monitor tracker early on, and PetCube, which was also kind of had facial recognition, and everybody's been trying to understand pet, but there's certain things that they do that are major indicators, and those are the things that we're focused on. And you'll see in the next couple months, there's something really exciting coming out that I'm super proud about, and we'll bring even more to this space about understanding your pet's health.
I can't wait. And as you were talking about it, I was thinking, I wonder if you could tell more about your cat's health if there was a little camera in there. But then I thought, do you really want to see your cat's butt or your cat's face while they're doing their business?
You're on to something. We've talked about this. There will be a Leo's Loo 3. And we've had a lot of discussions about this camera thing.
I mean, it's kind of like spying on you. Like, who would, like, you think about the crazy person, or you see something on TV with a whole dressing room, right? It's like the camera in the bathroom, like you're spying on them. But like you said, cats are stoic. They don't let you know when they're not feeling well. So,
yeah. So we have batted that around, and it's quite interesting. In terms of PetCube, we spent a lot of time on watching our pets and capturing that in fun moments. I think the bathroom one is definitely strange, but it can provide like facial recognition to be able to determine, one cat for another. So there's an element that can be applied from that. So to be determined, it's in discussion now, but you're a very wise woman. I think you pretty much do our whole company pitch on your own. You know everything about this, but we have been having conversations about exactly that.
Well, sometimes my questions that come out of left field are interesting, I guess. Okay, now let's tell people where they can buy their very own Leo's Loo 2.
Oh, yeah. So you buy direct in our own website, of course. So we definitely sell direct. We sell through Amazon. Petco is one of our partners, and Chewy is one of our partners. We're in the process of putting it in Petco stores. However, the biggest challenge with our product is it's a large product, right? So quite frankly, it won't fit in most people's car unless you have an SUV. So the best way to buy it, whether through Petco or through Chewy or ourselves or Amazon, is technically online. That way it shows up at your front door, not really something you want to stick in the back of your car. And so those are the things as we look to going forward and future expansion with other retailers, we take into consideration, because there is that challenge. The Costco consumer with the big SUV is probably in a good place where they could lob it in the car, but the average person, this would not fit in the car.
No, it's large. Okay, Chris, let's put the elephant out of the room, or the elephant that's in the room, because we haven't discussed the price, and I'm sure people are saying sounds like this magical thing, and it's probably thousands of dollars. And in actuality, what's the retail price, manufactured suggested retail price?
Yeah, SRP is $649, and I know that is a sticker shock, but it's an appliance. And it's interesting, if people go and read our reviews, you would think only rich people buy our product, and it's quite the opposite. I mean, anybody that has a cat that has to deal with this, you see so many of our reviews that say, I was so afraid to buy this thing. It's so expensive, but it works. It's great. And that's kind of where I started. Like, I wasn't afraid to spend money. Like, it's like, I always use the washing machine. Like, somebody could tell you could stop hand washing clothes. You're going to spend $1,000 to find an appliance to fix it. It's kind of the same thing. No one's really solved for it. I was willing to spend whatever money I did trying all the products and was disappointed. I'm proud to say our product works. We provide top level customer care, but the retail is $649.
Well, think about it. If you're saving money on litter, if you're saving money instead of, you have a max of, say, 4 for litter boxes, so you're saving space in your home. And then again, you're saving litter again, rather than 4 litter boxes, you're going to 1. And you can, detect activity and health. You could save on short stints if you're just going overnight or something. You don't have to worry about litter box situations. So there's a cost savings in that too.
You're absolutely right. Over time, it definitely pays for itself.
Right.
I always focus on the lifestyle change, because even if we get, like, occasionally we'll get somebody that gets one, they get knocked around in shipping. It's big, and so something went wrong, or the cat like chewed through something. Like, they're desperate. They're like, no, I just want it fixed. Like, once you get used to having it, you can't not have it. So it's really an educational thing. So we appreciate the time with you and be able to educate consumers, because again, it does solve for this. It is a great product. Unfortunately, like people look at that retail, we're a small company. We're not making tons of money. There's a lot of cost in the moving and shipping of it because it's a large box like any large appliance. But it really is a great product. And as you said, over time, it definitely pays for itself in terms of litter. It definitely pays for itself in terms of quality lifestyle and cleanliness in home. I mean, let's face it, if you have 3 or 4 boxes like we've all had, it's nearly impossible to keep the place clean, right? They're just constantly in and out, walking, tracking all that stuff around. And it's not pleasant when you start thinking about it.
And you know what? It's ideal for a family with young kids or where young kids are coming to visit. You think about the cost, and I recently, in the middle of reading a book, or almost finished with it, about a veterinarian and deals mostly with cats. And she said in her practice, she didn't see a big difference between what people that were very well-to-do spent on care of their cats or people that were just, making it what they spent on their cats. So what you said makes a lot of sense. But for a lot of people, that have young children, or then the cat ends up going to the shelter or something. And it's also because of the litter box situation, because little kids pick up poop. They do not realize what the heck it is. They just,
Well, and then there's the whole pregnant woman thing, right?
That too.
This is why we give a 90-day money back guarantee. Like, obviously we get them back. We don't make money. We lose money, but 95% only less than 5% of the people that buy take us up on that. So once people get it in the home, and this is why, like, we know it's a big commitment. We know it's scary. We got you. Like, if you try it, you put in 30, 60, 90 days, you're not 100% satisfied. It's on us. We take it back. And I think that's a big part of the model, so people can kind of get over the hedge, because it's like, yeah, it's expensive. I don't mind spending if it works, but does it really work? And the answer is yes. But so that's why we do that 90-day money back guarantee, because we want people to be able to take the leap with us. And again, you read the reviews and you'll see nearly every customer, that's their thing. Like, yeah, it was a lot of money, but it's worth it. And I could never live without it. And we have some people that go on and buy, 2, 3, 4 for multiple places in big houses and multiple houses. It's quite interesting, but we have a very loyal following, thankfully.
Well, you have a great product. I can't wait to see what you come out with next. And again, the website,
smartypear.com, one word, smartypear.com.
Chris, thank you so much for coming on Cattitude. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
It was so nice chatting with you, Michelle. You're so enlightened with pets, and I look forward to tuning into your show in the future. Thanks for covering us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed Cattitude today. You have to take a look at this product. It's simply amazing. So go to smartypear.com. It's called Leo's Loo 2. And I want to thank my testers, Dennis and Molly. Charlotte got near it, but, Charlotte's a little bit afraid of everything. But I'm hopeful. She's going to try out Leo's Loo 2 sometime soon. But it's truly incredible. Just an amazing litter box. And thanks to my guest, Chris from Smarty Pear, CEO and founder of Smarty Pear. Thanks to everyone listening. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for listening to Best Bets for Pets. You have made the podcast one of the most popular out there, and we're so ahead of the pack, but we appreciate staying ahead of the pack. So thank you. And of course, the show wouldn't be the same without thanking my producer, Mark Winter, for making me and my guests sound amazing. And remember, lose the attitude, have Cattitude.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.